Hello everyone. Today I'm excited to introduce the new integration between Cisco Secure Firewall and Cisco Cyber Vision. This is a powerful combination that merges our leading firewall solution with Cisco Cyber Vision's comprehensive insights into industrial systems. With the integration, you will enhance your defense against both external and internal threats, ensuring a seamless security posture across IT and OT environments. My name is Chris Grabowski. I'm a technical marketing engineer with Cisco Network Security Business Unit. Let's start by looking at the benefits this synergy brings to your network security. First and foremost, we have the Cisco Secure Dynamic Attributes connector, which serves as a bridge seamlessly importing OT objects directly from Cisco Cyber Vision. This ensures that your firewall is always informed with the most up-to-date inventory of your OT landscape. The OT objects aren't just imported once. They are dynamically installed and continuously updated on the Firewall Management Center. This means your firewall security measures evolve in real time, keeping pace with any changes in your OT environment. The CyberVision OT groups are reflected within your firewall policies as dynamic objects. These objects are not only synchronized, but also updated automatically, eliminating the need for manual policy deployment each time there's a change. This level of integration allows for a more agile, accurate, and responsive security framework for OT and IT. As we delve into the capabilities of Cisco Cyber Vision, it's essential to understand the depth of visibility and control it integrates directly into our network infrastructure. With deep packet inspection and active discovery, CyberVision isn't just an add-on. It is an embedded guardian within your OT network ecosystem. CyberVision provides comprehensive asset inventory and profiling, allowing you to know exactly what's on your network. But it doesn't stop there. You also gain insights into how these assets communicate, learn their vulnerabilities, and even assign them risk scores to prioritize your security efforts. The system also detects anomalies in traffic pattern. You can leverage Snort threat detection for real-time traffic analysis, and Talos Threat Intelligence, one of the most sophisticated threat intelligence services, to stay ahead of the latest global threats. In summary, Cisco Cyber Vision offers a robust approach to securing your OT infrastructure, which now you can integrate with your Cisco Secure Firewall, adding protection from even more angles. As we look at the map view of Cisco Cyber Vision, we can see a powerful visual tool providing a sharp security focus to your OT resources. The system discovers and profiles all endpoints connected to your network, providing a comprehensive picture of your OT landscape. You can easily keep track of the IP and MAC addresses of your OT assets, which is crucial for maintaining an accurate inventory and ensuring the security of your network. Each asset is assigned with both manual and automatic tags, reflecting their characteristics and relationships within the network. Vulnerabilities and risk scores are also attributed to these assets, alongside their firmware and hardware versions. The system's capability extends beyond detection. It actively collects and analyzes the flow information between OT hosts. This flow data is essential for understanding communication patterns, identifying potential threats, and ensuring the integrity of your network traffic. With all the insights and the context gathered around OT, CyberVision serves as the engineer's right-hand tool for building robust segmentation strategy. Through the detailed endpoint profiles, activity tags, network flows, and associated risks, you are provided with operational context, allowing for segmentation that aligns with the unique functions and behaviors of your OT environment in a particular moment in time. CyberVision, therefore, is not just a security tool. It is an enabler of smart, adaptive segmentation design that you can now expand to your Cisco Secure Firewall deployment. And the Cisco Secure Dynamic Attributes connector is the key component to connect these two together. The CSDAC facilitates the automatic import and synchronization of OT asset information from Cisco Cyber Vision into Cisco Secure Firewall. For those of you who haven't worked with CSDAC before, this is an add-on or a feature to the Cisco Secure Firewall Management Center that allows you to import attribute maps from external systems. CSDAC supports a wide range of public and private cloud connectors, as well as public feeds and product-specific integrations, with Cyber Vision being a good example. The Cyber Vision connector, introduced in CSDAC 3.0 release of software, enables dynamic updates of your OT asset group attributes into firewall security policies, thus streamlining the integration of IT and OT security management. The Cisco Secure Dynamic Attributes connector works seamlessly with the Firewall Management Center, offering form factor flexibility as it can be deployed as a standalone solution, delivered via the cloud, or as a native container module running within the Management Center. In the scenarios involving OT integration, the CSDAC establishes a direct connection to your Cyber Vision console, dynamically importing IP addresses of OT assets that are correlated with Cyber Vision segmentation groups. Consequently, the Firewall Management Center receives a continuous stream of dynamic objects, which can be easily incorporated into your firewall policies. With this innovative solution in place, your OT segmentation groups, aligned with your industrial processes, are now easily integrated for both east-west and north-south firewall enforcement. The dynamic nature of the rules, empowered by dynamic objects, ensures that they remain relevant in real time, adapting to any shifts within the OT landscape. This level of automation helps you reduce manual workload, as there is no longer a need for time-consuming reconfigurations or policy redeployments. Such seamless integration not only streamlines your security management process, but also guarantees that your firewall policies remain in lockstep with your OT industrial processes, current, responsive, and secure. Now let me show you how this works in a live demo. Let's start by looking at the Cisco Cyber Vision interface. Here we can see the map view of all the OT inventory discovered and profiled by the system. The endpoints are currently bundled together in vendor-specific groups. However, it is up to the administrator to decide on the group membership of individual endpoints. Typically, you'd see them bundled together in production lines or OT systems. When you click on a device icon, you can display information collected by Cyber Vision. You can see the IP and the MAC addresses, model name with the firmware and the hardware version. You can also see the tags derived from the network activity, which may indicate the OT protocols and the function of individual devices. There is also a risk score resulting from vulnerabilities Cyber Vision associates with software components discovered on the endpoints. Now let's switch over to the CSDAC and configure the Cyber Vision connector. First, let's confirm if CSDAC can communicate with my Firewall Management Center. We can check this in the Adapters page, where I already configured a connection to my laboratory FMC. The status is OK, which means that any new objects learned by CSDAC will be pushed to my firewall installation. Let's open the Connectors tab, where we set up connection to external providers. The configuration of a connector is pretty straightforward. Once you define the name of the connector, you have to set a prefix specific to the Cyber Vision instance you're about to connect to. Prefixes allow you to set connectors to multiple Cyber Vision instances at the same time, in case you have a more distributed OT environment. The pool interval tells the CSDAC how often to check with the provider if there's been any changes in the Cyber Vision group memberships. Next, you set the IP address and the port of the Cyber Vision server, and lastly, you need to grab a token for API access. To get the token, we need to go back to Cyber Vision and navigate to Admin, API, and Token. With a few clicks, the token is in my clipboard, and we can now finalize CSDAC connector setup. One thing I need to mention at this point is an additional configuration step you'll have to do in the next update to this connector. As we want to ensure that CSDAC connects to a trusted server, you'll be asked to import or fetch Cyber Vision's HTTPS certificate. For now, we are ready to test and save the configuration. In a couple of seconds, the connector status changes to OK, which means we successfully configured the provider. Now the CSDAC has a connection to both the Cyber Vision server as well as the Firewall Management Center, which we confirmed before in the Adapters tab. Let's have a look at the list of the objects pushed by the CSDAC to the FMC. Here we can see 4 dynamic objects representing 4 Cyber Vision groups we've seen in the OT map earlier. You can see each object is mapped with IP addresses of OT devices discovered and grouped by Cyber Vision. Now I'll demonstrate the dynamic nature of this integration. Let's switch over to this Cyber Vision, and I will move one of the Siemens devices to another group. This is just an exemplary group representing a segmentation object of a hypothetical production line that could exist in your OT environment. After refreshing, you can see the endpoint is now a member of a group called Production Line A. Now when we switch back to the Firewall Management Center, you'll notice the CSDAC detected the change in Cyber Vision and updated the list of the objects. We can see there is a new dynamic object named after the production line group, mapped with the IP address of the device we've just moved over. Now let's use this object in the firewall policy. I'll navigate to my access control policy and add a new firewall rule. In the source, I select a traditional network object of my laboratory PC that I will use later on to ping the OT machine. For the destination criteria, I will use the dynamic object that we've just learned from Cyber Vision. When we open the Dynamic Attributes tab, we'll have the same list of dynamic objects we've seen before. I'll select the production line object and add it to the destination matching criteria. Before saving the rule, I'll enable logging and IPS/malware protection. Let's summarize what this firewall policy does. The rule we've just created allows access from my laboratory PC to OT devices that are mapped to production line A in Cyber Vision. Everything else is blocked. What is really cool about this policy is that once I deploy it, any updates to the production line group made in Cyber Vision will be detected by CSDAC and propagated automatically to enforcing firewalls in near real time. Now let's demonstrate the update of the dynamic object and how quickly the change propagates. First, let's check the IP address of one of the Rockwell machines I'll be moving around. I'll ping its address from my laboratory PC. It fails as expected as this machine is still part of the Rockwell group. While the ping is running, I'll move this machine over to my production line A group. After a few seconds, the system picks up the change and the ping gets through the firewall. In the Cyber Vision interface, we can see the group change reflected as well. Notice this update happened without policy deployment or any manual effort on the firewalls. Looking at the logs, notice the ping packets were blocked until the dynamic change occurred. As soon as the CSDAC detected the change in Cyber Vision production line group, the firewall policy got updated and the pings were allowed. In the details of the connection, we can confirm the ping matched the access rule we configured earlier, and the IP address of the Rockwell machine was properly mapped to the dynamic object. Before we conclude this video, I just wanted to zoom out a little bit to the attribute-based policy on the firewall and encourage you to have a look at various other integrations available to make your policy more dynamic, secure, and easier to manage. With the attribute-based policy, you can bring dynamic user identity from ICE, terminal services, captive portal, and remote access. You can have dynamic attributes mapping the resources in your private and public clouds, ACI, VMware, Azure, AWS, or GCP. We also support a variety of public feeds including Office 365, Zoom, or WebEx, as well as integration opportunities with external systems, Cisco XDR, Secure Workload, and Cyber Vision we've just discussed. With that, I wanted to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you'll find the Cyber Vision integration useful. See you next time!